In well-protected places, ordinary connective tissues contain modest populations of cells, mainly fibroblasts, endothelial cells of blood vessels, and perhaps fat cells. However, underneath vulnerable wet epithelia, other types of cells are necessary to protect the tissue from invading pathogens. Most of these cells migrate in from the blood. Such connective tissue can be seen here in the duodenum. You've already examined the columnar epithelium over the villi of this section. Now look at the connective tissue directly underneath that epithelium. If you recall, we call this the lamina propria. Note how cellular it is. Lymphocytes are the predominant immigrant cells, but there are also eosinophils, macrophages, and plasma cells. Don't worry about sorting out these cell types. For now, just note the abundance and diversity of cells in this connective tissue. Highly cellular loose connective tissue, such as you see here, is often supported by delicate reticular fibers instead of, or together with, coarse type 1 collagen fibers. Note that the cellular connective tissue directly under the epithelium, the lamina propria, abruptly changes to ordinary loose connective tissue at its boundary with the underlying submucosal layer. This change emphasizes the fact that the connective tissue right under an epithelium is almost always visible, specialized to support the overlying epithelium. Sometimes it's the vasculature or looseness of the tissue or the presence of glands which highlights the distinctiveness of the lamina propria. In this case, it's the abundant protective cell population. The lamina propria is more closely related functionally to the overlying epithelium than the underlying connective tissue. Hence, we histologists refer to the lamina propria together with its epithelium as a mucosa or mucous membrane, and refer to the underlying tissue as a submucosa. But restrictions apply. To be a mucosa, the epithelium must be wet. The epidermis of skin would not qualify. Also, the epithelium must be connected to the outside, such as the case here with the lumen of the duodenum being continuous with that of the stomach, the esophagus, pharynx, mouth, and the outside. The epithelium that lines closed body cavities, such as the pleural cavity around the lungs, are a part of a serosa instead of a mucosa. Most mucosae, plural of mucosa, contain goblet cells and mucus glands. Their secretions drain to the outside, carrying bacteria, debris, and other materials with them. Serosae are wet, but their lining epithelium, normally simple squamous, normally absorbs as much fluid as it secretes.